Hi guys, welcome to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie, with no fears, limits or substitutes. And yes, I'm the bad boy of James Bond. Okay, so tonight guys, on the James Bond Show, I have my top 10 henchmen. And I hope so far you've been enjoying the top 10 series, which I've been doing pretty much daily. And guys, remember, in the comments below, leave what top 10 you would like me to do. So what would you like me to do in the next video? Please leave that, as well as also leave your thoughts on my top 10 and leave your top 10 as well. That's all part of the fun. Okay, so let's get right into this. My number 10 henchman. Now keep in mind guys, before I even say the number 10, a henchman has to have character, they've got to have menace. Often they've got loyalty to the James Bond villain. What is the henchman without a kind of fanatical loyalty? And I think that's where some of the best henchmen have that fanatical loyalty. They're right in there, not even just like an employee of the big villain, but almost like a friend, you know, someone that they just really, everything's about that person. And I think that makes it interesting, and it makes them way more dangerous as a Bond henchman. So let's have a look at my top 10. So number 10 is from Octopussy, Govinda. I think Govinda, played by Kabir Bedi, is a very underrated Bond henchman. He doesn't get a lot of talk. Even on Facebook pages, you don't see a lot of stuff on Govinda, but he's insanely loyal to Kamal Khan. He even gets, you know, outside an aeroplane to go and fight Bond when Kamal Khan tells him to. He's strong as an ox. He crushes dice like they're friggin' breadcrumbs. He kills people. He'll kill anyone. This guy is a big, crazy bastard, and he's got an incredible presence, and he's a man of action as well. So Govinda is a very deserving top 10. So my number 9 guys, is Tee. I love Tee. He's awesome. He's very iconic. He's very loyal. He's almost more like a friend to Mr. Big, Dr. Kananga. He's always with him. He's very loyal. Now, even after Dr. Kananga is unceremoniously blown up in the form of a plastic doll, Tee goes after Bond for revenge, getting in a train fight with him, a fight on a train. And I believe he got his arm ripped off. Big deal, and he got thrown out of a train. I believe Tee is out there somewhere alive, and they should have brought him back. Maybe in The Spy Who Loved Me. Okay, so Tee's my number 9. So number 8 is Dave Bautista. Mr. Hinks in Spectre is my number 8, guys. So he's brutal. He's got like steel thumbnails. The guy is insane. He is absolutely insane. And I think out of all the James Bond henchmen, he's the one that one-on-one, Bond doesn't have a hope to beat him unless Bond can use a gadget or he gets some help or something. I think Mr. Hinks is just too violent, too psycho, too big. He's insane. He's got an incredible presence in Spectre. Every time he's on screen, he doesn't talk except until his death, where he says, "Oh shit." And I hope it wasn't his death. I really, really would love it. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think all the fans, one of the decent things out of Spectre was Mr. Hinks, and I would love him to return in no time to die. So guys, my number 7 James Bond henchman is Mayday, played by Grace Jones in A View to a Kill. She's losing a couple of spots here because I don't think she ever should have become a good guy, so to speak, or a good girl. Even though Jenny Flex was killed and the other Asian girl was killed, I also don't think that Zorin should have turned on her. I think he's got a bit more loyalty than that. So yeah, she's got an incredible presence, and she looks great in her little G-banger gym bikini type thing when she's taken on Zorin, which is a bit of a weird moment in the film. And of course, who can ever forget that really odd, weird if you want to call it a sex scene or encounter between her and old man Roger Moore Bond in A View to a Kill. But she's got presence. Now, she kills Tibbet. She kills, what's his name? Lee in A View to a Kill, Asian guy. She kills him as well, and they were good allies to Bond. So for her to be made as a goodie at the end, or help Bond escape at the end, never sat right with me. I would have loved to have seen a, well, mano fight between Mayday and Bond. And Grace Jones was incredible as Mayday. Great presence. So there you go. Okay, so my next one is number 6, Hervé Villechaize as Knick Knack. He's awesome. He's kind of, look, he's cute. He's fun. He's not that dangerous. He he's kind of like really loyal, but at the same time, I think he wouldn't care if Scaramanga got wasted by Bond because he wants that island. He only attacks Bond at the end of the film because he's so pissed that Bond has just blown up basically his inheritance. And I love the camaraderie between he and Roger Moore's Bond as well. There's a great, villain camaraderie between them, and that's showcased in the end where Bond doesn't kill him and just puts him the top of the mast thing. And you know what, I would have loved, I don't think at the time, because Man with the Golden Gun, which I love, I think it's a great Bond film, because it wasn't super well received, I don't think they would have brought him back for The Spy Who Loved Me. But I think it would have been so fitting, as goofy as Moonraker was, if they brought Knick Knack back in. Could you imagine, Knick Knack in Moonraker with Jaws? Jaws and Knick Knack together, that height and that size. That would have been awesome, but it never happened. Okay, guys, so my number 5. Number 5 is a double teaming of Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd. And Putter Smith and Bruce Glover here are absolutely fantastic. Bruce Glover as Mr. Wint, he steals the show. And out of a film that's really crappy bad film, these guys, even though they are gay and they are camp and you would think, they're a little bit effeminate and whatnot, they still exude a great deal of menace. And their performances are fantastic. And Putter Smith wasn't even an actor as well. He was actually a jazz musician who I think it was the director Guy Hamilton, had seen him at this jazz club and thought, oh, he'd be great for Mr. Kidd. And he and Putter Smith and Bruce Glover had a great camaraderie on set, and they worked well together. And I love them. They're really memorable villains. I'd love some toy company one day, like a Big Chief, to bring out a double set of Kidd and Wint. That would be awesome. So they are my fitting number 5. Number 4, guys, we're getting into the top end here. I'm not going to talk too much about him. I don't think I need to. The man needs no introduction. Here is my number 4. Well, here's to us. Jaws, played by Richard Kiel, who sadly passed away a few years ago. So Jaws is my number 4. Jaws would probably be my number 1, number 2, if he had not turned good guy. Of course, in Moonraker, he turned into a goodie. When I was 13 and I saw 13 and I saw The Spy Who Loved Me for my first time when I got into the James Bond films, he scared the crap out of me. When he's in Egypt, Gayrol, and he eats that guy's neck, and he's eating into his neck, that absolutely scared the crap out of me, and he was horrendous. And then, of course, half an hour later, he's dropping a rock on his foot, or not even, he's dropping a big boulder on his foot, and he's turned into a joke. So that's why he slipped back in my rankings. And again, he was a psycho crazy killer. Even in Moonraker, he's trying to kill people, trying to kill Holly and Bond, and then suddenly he meets Dolly and he becomes a good guy at the end of it. Don't really know about that, but I can kind of see why they did it as well, because I think Richard Keel's so likable and his likability came out in his Jaws. But so there you go, guys, Jaws. And you know why he's number 4? Even though he became a good guy, he's just iconic. He is so iconic. So Jaws is number 4. Okay, guys, my number 3 James Bond henchman is the one, the only Xenia on her top. Now, I'm not crazy about her like a whole bunch of people are as far as thinking she's sexy. I don't think Famke Janssen's ever really... Look, in real life, I'm sure she would be whoo, hot, hot, hot. But just the way the makeup was done and all that, I never saw her in that way of, ooh, she's so gorgeous. I didn't see her like that, where a lot of people think she's hot and sexy. Maybe in the steam bath bit, she was better and she had the hair out and everything. But was she a great henchman? Yes, she was. She was so loyal to Giannis, aka 006 Trevelyan. She loved killing people. She just absolutely loved executing people. I don't think some of her lines came off really so well. That line, anyone explain this to me in the comment section, the line where she says she's with Oromov and she's just killed all those people in the Russian base, and then she says, I hyperventilate someone. I didn't get it. I've never got it. No, I saw the film 6 times in the cinema and no one laughed. No one got that either. But the bit where she says, he's going to derail us, everyone laughed, and I still laugh at that bit today. So they got that line right. The other one, I got no idea what it meant. Just didn't make sense. Yeah, I get it. Natalie was in a ventilation shaft thing, but I just didn't get that joke. So there you go, guys. Xenia on her top. She's crazy. She's a nutty bitch. She fights to the end, and Bond kills it because she always did enjoy it. Good squeeze. Okay, so she's my number 3. So my number 2 is... Here he is. And he's not going to say anything because he's a mute, he doesn't talk, but he is a Korean manservant, odd job, played by the incredible Harold Sakata. This is a sideshow doll here, not my Big Chief one, because that's in the other room, but he's my sideshow doll. So Harold Sakata, arguably the most iconic, he endures the most iconic James Bond henchman ever. There's no doubt those two are the most iconic. Does that make them the best? Well, not in my opinion, because I've got that for number 1. But this guy's so loyal that even when Bond is trying to escape out of Fort Knox, where a bomb's going to go off because they're locked in, and Goldfinger locked him in knowing he was in there, he still wants to stop Bond, and he's happy to die for Goldfinger. This guy is ridiculous. That is a ridiculously loyal manservant. And Harold Sakata, just his physical presence, his sneakiness, he's faking about the whole golf ball thing, and then he crushes one to bits. He's a crazy man. He is at my number 2. Now that brings us to my number 1 all-time James Bond henchman. And no, it's not Daniel Craig. It's not Michael G. Wilson. It is the one, the only Donald Red Grant, played by Robert Shaw. And unfortunately, I don't have a toy to play with. I don't have a Red Grant toy. But Red Grant is the best henchman because he's absolutely psychotic. He's in From Russia with Love a lot. He's popping up the film so many times. He has great dialogue and great speaking parts towards the end of the film. And he's in arguably the most iconic, and I know you guys are waiting for me to do a top 10 of fight scenes. If you want that one, let me know in the comments below and I'll make it. But Red Grant's in a very iconic fight scene with Sean Connery on the Orient Express, and it's, you know, arguably one of the best fight scenes ever put to film, and it's fantastic. And the thing about Red Grant is, yeah, he comes from a, you know, it's like he comes from a lunatic asylum. He's mental, but he actually enjoys what he's doing. He relishes it. He takes pleasure in killing people. He's got a massive ego, and he's a really good fit for James Bond as far as the fisticuffs, the fighting, and his garroting watch is awesome. He's great, so he is my number 1. Guys, let me know in the comments below what your number 10 top henchman would be. Also, before I sign off here with this one, I'm going to give my honourable mentions. So my honourable mentions are Necros. Necros was really cool. I like Necros. He's in a great battle. His death at the end of, near the end of The Living Daylights, where Bond gives him the boot, is awesome. Not quite my top 10 though, but Andreas Wisniewski was great as Necros. Now, my number 10 is, my other honourable mention is really going to surprise people. I just love this guy as a henchman, and he actually kills people too. Whisper from Live and Let Die. Big fatty, can hardly talk, but he's loyal to Dr. Kananga. He kills that CIA agent by shooting the dart thing in his head when he's driving along in the car, and he's in the film a lot. And I don't think he actually died too. I think he might have survived as well. So Whisper, my other honourable mention is Benicio del Toro as Dario. Now, Dario could have been in my top 10, but he didn't have enough screen time. If he had more screen time, he would have been in there, but he goes missing for a huge chunk of the film, and then he returns at the end. But he's psychotic and he's crazy. But there you go. So guys, till next time, keep on bonding and say hi to your mum for me. Don't forget to like and all that crazy fun Kajeevie stuff. Smash that subscribe button. See ya.
Well, here's to Kajeevie.